had a really interesting time chatting to Quinergy. The one thing that we kind of want to discuss first is like why we needed to make a change.
To kick us off, a lot of the types of customers, well, the types of leads that we get coming in to sign up to Payaca right now tend to be small businesses that efficiency is not their thing because they're just doing like a task at a time. Whereas what we're trying to solve is, big problems, make businesses more efficient. And the way that we're trying to help these businesses that are coming in terms of like a bit more of like a hand-holding consultant-led approach, they don't see the value in that. When ideally, like, you need somebody in a larger organisation, someone that spots inefficiency. So the bigger the business gets, usually what happens is they'll hire more people, you'll end up with more manual processes, then before you know it, you've got processes relying on people. So if you want to scale the business, so like a field services business, you then need to hire more admin staff. With the new approach of working with, I guess, being more selective about who the businesses are that we work with and building out the product in the way that we want to in terms of to solve the problems that these types of businesses have, we can be more selective, but we can be more dedicated with our time.
Yeah, because I guess the situation we have been in today, as you say, like the way we're working with businesses we're not suggesting necessarily changing that.
Yeah.
It's just taking that consultative approach and spending the time like looking at these processes and trying to suggest improvements is just, as you say, not what those smaller businesses want. So like we still want to do that. It's just we need to figure out who it is we can help the best. And I think it's interesting because we very much initially just opened our doors to everyone.
Yeah.
Said try it for free, go ahead and but in order for them to be successful on their own, the product has got to be amazingly well optimized for like showing them all the different things they can do. Like a very small business will come in with a specific problem in mind, like you said, but then if they can't find that one thing, that's the only thing they're looking for. But then at the same time, if you like take that business that has lots of different problems and wants to solve like efficiency problems, and they come in, so how do you possibly give them the information they need on their own? And like we have all these people coming in, and then we're sort of playing catch up and like saying, well, now we need to go out and try and like call them. We don't know who's properly interested either, because we haven't done any like proper pre-qualification. It's just been like, hey, proper like product-led approach, go and try it, and then you'll just be successful.
You've kind of got you've got two ends of the spectrum. You've got the super simple product that it does like one or two things, therefore it's quite easy to create like an onboarding process for that. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got these massive CRM companies like, I guess, Salesforce, Workday, where if you tried that on your own, you're like, well, I mean, you can't even get access. Some of the customers that we've had have had it does the one or two things well. As we're starting to help these larger sized businesses, it does a lot more. So actually them coming into the product, they're not seeing the true value of like what Payaca can do.
And we were talking about this earlier. It's like there's a lot of business. Say you're a Salesforce, or like businesses come to them, or you get a consultant on board. It takes months, years to like set up, and you never quite get what you want. The problem with that is because the businesses are coming in and they're not experts in designing processes within a tech framework, and so they just say, oh, these are the solutions I want, and then those are the solutions to get built, but they're not actually good solutions.
No.
We're not going to force you to change everything, but to have the confidence to say, we've already proven this with businesses, we've sat down, we've worked with them, we've helped them improve their processes, and then we've built that into Payaca. And I think stuff that you want to do later, if you want to be more automated, like that can come later. There's nothing stopping you doing that, but right now I think we can deliver so much value to these businesses if we focus.
Since I've joined, we've been working on sales, customer success, product, and actually like a lot of the sales stuff that comes through are like, okay, that we know that they don't necessarily align to like what we're trying to, like our ideal customer profile, but we do want to solve the problem for them. So it's kind of like you're a bit torn in a sense. There needs to be a line in the sand somewhere that's like, we now focus on this, and this is our proposition, and this is the point we're at.
Yeah.
Which is, and even from meeting with a few clients this week, it's like we know the value in that. They can see the value. They can see our reaction to their system and their processes, and the cogs are turning. And we're like, well, we can solve that. And like when we solve problems for one business, it's not super bespoke because that can be applied to any other businesses.
But we want it to feel like we are your
Yeah.
tech team. I don't think anyone's really offering right now, because either you have the completely open, like you have to get a consultant in to, like external consultant in to build this out for you, or you get the like free product, or you know, like free to try, but it's just that, and you will never change.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we're constantly changing and constantly evolving. It's that, I think, perfect sweet spot for like you actually get to shape this in a way that solves the problems you have.
And based on the conversations we have, like these businesses have challenges, they're going to get to a certain scale and then they're going to have other challenges, and there's going to be other things they need because they go off and do different things or different product offerings. But which is great for us because then we're along on that journey, and as their businesses grow, our business grows. If you were to talk about this now, 5 years ago, you'd be like, well, how do you get there? And how do you get to that decision point, and is that the right thing? And also it's like, if you knew what you knew now, would you still do what you did 5 years ago? Well,
it's like, no, you take a totally different approach, but then you have to think, well, the only reason we got here is because we opened the doors and just found out. And so it's like really exciting to have like gone through that journey and be at a point where it's like, oh, we know what we can deliver, have the confidence to pitch that to people and to say, look, this is what we offer.
Yeah.
Come to us. Like, if you meet our criteria, we will work with you, but we don't want to work with businesses that we know we can't deliver an amazing experience for.
Yeah. I think there's definitely something about, you know, you're creating a bit of scarcity and we're being selective about who we work with. It shows that we care. If you've ever tried to sell something to someone that doesn't need the solution that you've got, it's like, we both know that this isn't, like, you've got to try hard to sell that.
Yeah, I feel like with us, it's always been like, well, I do think you do need that. Like, I don't think we've ever gone like, we've never been in a position where we're like trying to push something that they don't need. It's like, well, you do need this. You're not willing to listen.
Yeah. I think there's loads of businesses, small businesses, that like we could help. Like all of the leads that come through, we could help. But the challenge is they're not willing to invest the time.
And it's not just the time; it's the money as well. Well, because we can't take this approach if it's like, well, the time is expensive. Like, because our process so far with Quinergy has been like we had a couple of I guess like pre-qualification meetings on both sides. Them trying to figure out if we're a good fit, us trying to figure out if they're a good fit. And we've gone up there. We spent a whole day with the key people across each team, going through every one of their processes.
Yeah.
And then we spent time today, like going through, mapping out, right, these are their processes, but also, okay, these are the key things that we believe that they need our product to do.
Yeah.
Does it do them? Like, and then if we don't feel it does, what would it take for us to be able to deliver that for them? And then to kind of really go through and prioritize, like, this is like a must-have, this is like I really would like this soon, and this is on the wish list. So we've gone through that exercise, and we really want to go through. We want to map those processes out. Like, I don't think anyone's doing that.
No.
So we're saying, like, we really want to work with like 1 to 2 businesses a month. Come to us. We'll sort of agree whether like this is a good match, and then we will go all in on making this work. We really want to be able to say, like, if you can do these things, we'll guarantee you go live in month 1.
Yeah. Because if we were to take our situation from right now with Quinergy, in a month's time, if everything went smoothly, they could be up and running on this platform. If we can do that with multiple businesses per month, there's no reason that this doesn't grow month on month and month.
Yeah.
Because the other approach is like what a lot of companies do. They hire a massive sales team, like trying to get leads and sell to maybe people that don't need it or don't recognise the value, where we might get to the point where, okay, you get to capacity on how you can implement Payaca, then you just hire a different type of person. You get a consultant, someone that's actually a specialist in the product to work with them to solve their problems rather than just sell them a thing that they're probably not going to use and churn on.
Yeah. We toyed with the idea of hiring dedicated salespeople, and I think we've gone, maybe you do have to in future at some point. Like, but right now, that's not what we want to do. We're at that really interesting point where our product is does a lot. It solves a lot of like core problems, but we've got so much ambition for it to do so much more. So if you're at that stage, like a similar stage to us, if like you've grown, you're pretty successful
Yeah.
in what you do, you've proven that, but you're really looking to push your business on to the next level, then you've got that opportunity to join up with us now
Yeah.
and be one of those few companies that we work really closely with, help you improve your processes, build a really successful business, and like that's just what we want to do. Just focus on that with a small number of customers. I think that's a really exciting prospect.
One of the questions we could get from potential customers, but like, okay, so why do you want to do things differently? Like, what's your motivation? Well, I've spent time designing products previously that don't solve problems for people, and the gap in designing good software and actually being able to deliver that value to people is helping them learn how to use it and helping them like understand how it fits with their business. Because it's like I always say, using a new piece of software, like a new good piece of software, is harder than sticking with an existing painful process.
Yeah.
Because it's just always hard to learn new things. So like for businesses that want to join us, it's like, well, you've got to be prepared to learn a new thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, you know, Craig at Quinergy has already proven he wants to make that investment. You know, he's invested in like Rob Duncan, who's recently joined the business, and is really like setting them up for scale, improving these processes, and so is the perfect person to lead that collaboration with us. But all the key people in their team to really just make this work and like make such an investment in making this work, and the success of that is so important to us. And like why we do it, like honestly, like yes, I want to build a like super successful business, but like I love it. I actually love this process. So ultimately our like approach now is that we do that upfront consultancy. We've gone through your process in meticulous detail. We know what the key problems are, what is needed, and we will put together something that will work. Be great to see how this develops, and I think the next step for us is to actually make that proposition visibly clear on our website, on our landing page. That's what we're going to do after this.
It's exciting, and I think like we've noticed that how the team seems super energized by this as well. I think the clarity around the proposition and who we're going for, it does just give the whole business a bit more clarity in terms of the direction that we're going, and I think it's very exciting.
Yeah.
There's many people in their industry that have so many process problems in businesses that are just sort of getting by. And I think a lot of people, when you think inefficiency, you think, oh, well, I don't want to reduce the size of my team because maybe I like my team, or like I don't want to shrink the business just because we become more efficient. Well, when you become more efficient, I think it's like you can take on more business, and then you can become more profitable. It's like thinking about how much you're spending on just operating and how much work you're bringing in and what your profit margins are. It's like that's the bit that's going to grow. Like you can do more with the existing size team.